A very common type of tie-in merchandise we get from Japan with a lot of their franchises is art books. You see these a lot for anime and for video games and lots of other different types of franchises. And it's no secret that I love collecting these. I have them for tons of different JRPGs, including Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem, Bravely Default, and sometimes we'll get even localized ones here in the US for some of our video game franchises where the artists are particularly proud of the work that they've done on the game. A common example is Bethesda. There's the Art of Doom, the Art of Dishonored, the Art of Wolfenstein, and those are always really awesome, and I love collecting those. And so when they announced that Kotobukiya is going to be releasing an art book for all of the HMM illustrations that have come out from the original HMM in 2006 until the Bladelighter in late 2020, I was incredibly excited. So I ordered this pretty recently, and it's been sitting around for maybe a month or two. I've been waiting to do this video on it. So I just kind of wanted to show this off just a little bit and kind of get you guys in the mindset that you should definitely go and pick this up if you are a hardcore Zoids collector and you really appreciate the artwork that goes into the HMM lines. But I didn't want to show the entire thing on the video because that would kind of defeat the purpose, and it gets into borderline art theft territory, kind of. So I feel weird doing that for an art book. But I did kind of want to show it off a little bit. So it's not terribly big, and it's oriented, horizontally so that we get these full page spreads for a lot of the artworks on the boxes there. So this also is not terribly expensive either. It's a pretty decent price for an art book. And again, it mainly just shows off all of the illustrations from every single HMM kit ever made and talks about some of the facts about them that I thought was really interesting. And anybody that's a Japanese-speaking member of my audience, I would definitely love to have some greater insight on the translations on some of the paragraphs in here that kind of describe the background and what went into making these. There's some interviews and some writer's notes in here that really do kind of help shed some light on what the creative process was like and some facts about the Zoids here. So if anybody has a translation of that or is able to roughly translate because they're Japanese speaking, that would be awesome. But of course, the very, very first HMM was the Bladelighter. And then we have the desert variant, which came out, which I don't know if I like that desert color as much as what we saw in Zoids vs. 2 and the model kit that was the tie-in with that. And it's crazy to see how much the Command Wolf has evolved from this original artwork into the one we have now. And there's actually several different artists that contribute their art to the HMM line. And so you'll see a sort of varying styles in here, and there's a couple of artists that I think really stand out and have some of the best illustrations here. And so, we get all this classic artwork from all these HMMs that are not really available anymore. The Saber Tiger one has maintained pretty consistently the same artwork, but it has had updates for the more recent versions. So you see this right here, but there's also an updated version of that artwork as well. I really love these illustrations right here that show like these epic battle scenes, and sometimes you get to see like human soldiers on the battleground as well, and you get to see the scale. And you also get to see some other types of Zoids in the background that may or may not have an HMM version of them. Like there's the Hammer Rock right there, which does not have an HMM version, but it does have a Modeler Spirit Series version, which good luck finding that. There's also something that I think I've alluded to in some of the HMM Bladelighter reviews, is that some of the older HMM Bladelighters had this weird trim around the cockpit there, the canopy area. And I don't know why that was removed from the more modern versions, but the modern versions do look more true to the anime, and that sort of white trim around the cockpit was removed. Other than that, I don't know what is different about this original classic HMM Leon Bladelighter compared to the one that I have, the renewal version. Oh, the Saber Tiger shoe bolts. Oh, that's a pretty infamous one in terms of the bootleg being really bad, and the bootleg causing potentially a lot of... It falls apart very easily as well. There's the Cannon Tortoise, which I recently just finished building. This is the first iteration of the Command Wolf Irvine, which I talked about in the review for that, how this illustration shows a lot more anime stuff going on. It's got Van and Zeke right here, and we see the Gustav towing the Bladelighter. but the renewal version has a lot more action going on as well, which I think is pretty cool. There's the other Mulga set. This one I'm not too fond of, the original Gun Sniper artwork. It looks very CG, and it looks like the Gun Sniper just does not belong in this environment. The newer artwork is much better for that one. There's the Buster Tortoise. Both the Iron Kong and the Gojulus really kind of show off the devastation of the battlefield there. In the Iron Kong one, you see this poor helpless command wolf getting destroyed down here, and then in the Gojulus one, you see the Gojulus just towing away a destroyed Iron Kong as well. So there's the Bladelighter van version, which of course I have and I've done the video on, which I probably need to do. And I will be doing an updated Bladelighter review when I finish the 2020 version and give the van version more of a fair shot. I built the van version very, very poorly, and so I was unfairly harsh on it when I did the review because I didn't build it very well. There's the Red Horn, which still to this day has the same artwork as I showed off. I've got that one as well. The Gun Sniper Naomi special, so I recently had one of those a couple years ago, and I actually gave it to my friend Jeff, and hopefully he's built it, and if he has, I want to do a review of it. The Great Sabre is in my backlog. I need to build that pretty soon. And of course the Lightning Sykes, which is one of my favorite HMMs, of course, and I've built that. The Bladelighter Mirage, which is impossible to find. Good luck finding it when it's not a bootleg. And hopefully we'll see a reprint of that eventually. The Liger Zero box art, interestingly enough, has changed a little bit to where this artwork was meant to reference the anime, the very first episode against the Tigers team there, where of course it's a team of 3 yellow Saber Tigers, and the Shield Liger is instrumental in defeating those. But the updated version of the Markings Plus version of the Liger Zero box art changes it to red Saber Tigers, which I think is random but interesting. The Command Wolf AC Brad version does not have blue accents on the AC cannon up there. It has just regular black and gray, which is interesting, and that's a noteworthy difference in the art there. Saber Tiger Gold. It appears to be attacking the Death Soar, actually. So that's the only time we get to see the Death Soar in any illustrations. I love this artwork too, the Gun Sniper Lena special, because we get to see Harry over there jumping out of his Dark Horn, which is pretty epic. Terrace Bomber. And then the Schneider also has some updated box art as well, where this original version, we see it fighting, of course, Leon's Bladelighter, just like in the anime. But in the Markings Plus version, we see that fighting a Red Horn, which is kind of random. But I guess, they wanted to change it from anime continuity to battle story continuity. And they also did not want to have this original Bladelighter in here when they could have shown the renewal version that has the updated details like I talked about. So I said I wouldn't show all of this book, and I'm not. I want to kind of quickly jump right to the end and show off some of the most recent kits. So here's the updated Saber Tiger like I talked about, and it looks like there's a little bit more flame. They've changed the position on some of the Saber Tigers in the background a little bit, so that's a nice little updated piece as well. The Godos, which you can see in this art book what I talked about with the Godos during that review, where the box art for this one is the opposite image of this one, and it's sort of flipped around depending on the perspective. So it's just two angles of the same scene there. And here's the interesting lore continuity between the HMM Death Stinger, the Bladelighter with attack boosters, and the Genobreaker rather. And this is all a very famous battle from the battle story, where the two of them go up against the Death Stinger, and the Bladelighter, of course, is tragically destroyed. But the Genobreaker manages to break off one of the Bladelighter's blades and stab the Death Stinger through the head. So that's a 2020 Bladelighter box art, which I think is amazing. There's the 2020 Genosaur artwork, which again I should have pre-ordered that, but I missed out on it. This is in reference to a practice run, a trial run of the Genosaur when it was in production, and how it just absolutely massacred the Zoids that they put it up against, which is pretty interesting. There's the Iron Kong Yeti, which the box art's oriented vertically, so of course the artwork is too. The Bison Renewal, which is pretty cool, shows a lot of the Republic Army forces in there. This is the first time we've had just like a generic D-Bison. I think the other D-Bison is supposed to be the Shoeball Special. So, and of course the Wildliger, which is the last kit to have been released before this art book was. So the Wildliger kind of puts that capstone on the HMM line from 2006 to 2020. And of course a couple kits did come out after this, such as the new Genobreaker, but that's where they decided to cap it off, which I thought was an excellent idea. So I only showed off a little bit of that book. There's quite a bit more in there, and there's lots of other stuff in there as well, such as it shows every single HMM kit and whether or not those kits were limited editions, whether or not they were Markings Plus versions, whether or not they were Koto Store exclusives, all of that stuff. And I think that stuff is super interesting. So I didn't want to show off the whole thing because I want to make sure you guys go out there and actually buy this and add it to your collection. You can still order it on AmiAmi and HLJ. Definitely go take advantage of that and let me know what you guys think. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.